Yo, 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 and hello. I sure did pick the wrong week to get sick as in terms of live streaming on Saturdays because that was a pretty good Saturday. I mean, that was very entertaining. A lot of good games, especially the OU Texas game and then the A&M. As much as I hate A&M, as much as I don't like them, got to give them credit for beating Alabama. But it does look like Georgia's the best team this year, and that's reflecting in my power ratings right here. Alabama did only drop to number 2. I mean, that was kind of a fluky win if you look at their stats for the game. I mean, it was kind of a fluky win for A&M. A&M is still at 21. Ohio State, Michigan, Cincinnati, Florida, Arizona State, Iowa, Clemson, and Penn State round out the top 10 of my power ratings right now. So that is how it goes. As far as how the model did last week, there are some bright spots. You have some green parts in the keyless units columns. K-nearest neighbors, very good on totals, plus 10 units. Combo is best on spreads, plus 6.9 units. Moneyline was the downfall. Keyless gradient boost is plus 2.32, but with keys, there really wasn't much there. Overall, the best model last week was K-nearest neighbors, and that also is now the best performing model keyless on the season as well, which is in line with what has carried me over past seasons. As far as my picks did, not as bad as past weeks. I mean, my only minus 1.84 units, which is the second best week of the year. I've only had one winning week. Spread 2-0, totals 4-4, but money line, I just haven't been able to connect on money lines this year, guys. I mean, spreads are tracking similar to what was last year. Totals, this is my first year to do totals, so I mean, minus 10 units could be worse, but money lines, that's where I've always been carried, and I'm just not connecting on enough of those this year to get by. So that's a recap of last week. So let's go ahead and move into this week. So I was completely unaware. This is the week where early week games start. So there was a game last night, UL Lafayette and Appalachian State. I didn't know. I'm pretty busy with life, guys, so I just didn't know. But honestly, unless I start doing these streams on Mondays, I might just not be able to do those like Tuesday and Wednesday night games, which is fine. But anyway, my model was all over Appalachian State on the spread. They did not come close to covering. Only one model with the gradient boost pick UL Lafayette to win, which they did. And geez, this happens every week. And over and under, the game did go under, so at least that was right. As far as keys this week, I should probably color these in as well. The keys I picked this week, speaking of keys, it's going to be... Yeah, it's this top one, K-nearest neighbors, gradient boost, random forest. So basically everything but neural network and least squares. For spread, so let me bold that and make it blue. And then for totals, it's going to be gradient boost neural network. Get rid of all these. Gradient boost neural network for totals, and then moneyline is still a neural network and combo. So those are going to be the keys this week. So looks like at least it was wrong in this game last night. I don't know why this says this happens every week. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? It's because one of the columns. It's pulling from the wrong column. This happened last week too. And the totals. I thought I fixed this last week, guys. Come on. Jeez, I can't use this K-nearest neighbors graph if that's going to be happening. All right, how did I fix that last week? I remember it didn't take me that long. It's pulling from column... it's pulling from column 9. It should be pulling from column 10. So I thought I fixed this last week. I guess I didn't save it. That's really annoying. Jeez. What is the deal? All right, let's see if that works. Okay, that worked, kind of. It should be 7. And then for total, it should be column 8. Okay, so this better be fixed. I'm going to hit the save button up here so that doesn't happen again this week. Okay, there we go. So Anyway, that is fixed. Now we can move on. But anyway, my model did not get this game right last night. But moving on to games that haven't happened yet, maybe we can do better. Georgia Southern and Troy is tomorrow night's game. Or not Georgia Southern and Troy. Georgia Southern and South Alabama, number 96 versus 98. Georgia Southern is a 3-point dog. The total is 50. We're split on spread. Money line, we're split there. But this is unanimous over, including the 2 keys for the week. So over 50 looks to be like the play. K-nearest neighbors total is 54.3. So in Georgia Southern winning about 1/3 of the time. And then a slightly better game tomorrow night, but still not great. You know, not the best games tomorrow night, unfortunately. We got Navy and Memphis. I've noticed that ever since NFL started playing on Thursday nights, we don't really get good Thursday night games anymore. But number 86 versus 116, even though Navy played pretty good against SMU last week, and Memphis has just been terrible this year. Memphis is favored by 10.5. The total is 55.5. It looks like a unanimous Memphis lean on the spread. And money line if you want to play them up to -400, but we're split on total. And going over here to this, average 14.9 margin on the K-nearest neighbors graph for Memphis. So it looks to be like Memphis is the lean there. All right, moving on to Friday's games. We got Conference USA, which is terrible, and the North Texas team about 25 minutes up the road from me, not playing very well this year. They're down to 114. Marshall, number 77. They barely pulled it out against Old Dominion last week. And I apologize. These 2 teams use the same color scheme, so you can't really tell them apart here on the graph. But North Texas, 11-point home dog, total 66. It looks like 5 of the 6 metrics, including all the keys, are picking North Texas against the spread, though. We're split on money line. And over and under, this is unanimous under 66. Over here on the K-nearest neighbors graph, 62.2 is it, and the 3 most similar matchups all went under. So it looks like North Texas and under is the play there. Moving on to the California State battle in the Mountain West. We got the Aztecs of San Diego State going up to San Jose to play the Spartans, and San Diego State's ranked, but I don't think they're that good. I'm at 54 in my model. San Jose State down to 106. It looks like last year was not a sign of things to come with them. San Diego State favored by 9.5. The total's only 41. This is going to be a low-scoring affair. Almost unanimous for San Diego State against the spread, but not quite there. K-nearest neighbors disagrees. But if you want to play them at -357 on the money line, go ahead. Unanimous under as well. The average in my model is 36. It's 40 on the K-nearest neighbors graph. Average of 10.2. So it looks like if there's going to be any play on this game, it's going to be the under. All right. Geez, why is my mouse moving all slow? All right. Moving on to a Pac-12 battle on Friday night. We got Cal going to Oregon. Cal's just been pretty disappointing this year. Their defense hasn't been great, and their offense has not been good either. Oregon, they lost to Stanford, disappointing, so they're going to have to rebound from that. Number 13 versus 73. Oregon's a 13.5-point home favorite. The total is 53.5. This is unanimous Oregon lean on the spread. And if you want to play them up to -556 on the money line, go ahead. And we're split on over-under. Coming over here, it looks like the most similar matchup actually has Cal winning. That was in 2016, Vanderbilt over Western Kentucky. But otherwise, Oregon by an average of 22.5, and the total is 59.6. So at least according to the K-nearest neighbors graph, we got an over and Oregon lean. And then finally, rounding out Friday night, I remember when this matchup was hyped, but probably not anymore just because Syracuse is bad and Clemson is not what they once were. However, Clemson's still a 14-point road favorite at the Carrier Dome. The total is 45. They're still a top 10 team in my model. Syracuse almost beat Wake Forest last week, lost in overtime. And Clemson, I just don't know what the deal with them is. But against the spread, unanimous Clemson lean, unanimous Clemson on money line if you want to go up to 588. And over and under split, but it looks like the keys this week are leaning towards the over slightly. So that has how that plays out. And then only 2 matchups over here on the KNN graph where Syracuse wins, most recently being Rutgers over Purdue in 2017. Otherwise, the spread is pretty sharp on the KNN graph, and so is the total. It's right on the target. All right. Moving on to Saturday's games, starting with the worst matchups, progressing to the better matchups. And this is a good matchup in basketball, but this is not basketball, unfortunately. This is football and not so great. Ohio 118, Buffalo 103. Buffalo's 9-point home favorite. The total is 57. We are split on the spread. Money line, if you want to play Buffalo to -357, it looks like that is there. And unanimous under by a lot. I only have it at 44. So About a 10% chance for Ohio to win according to the KNN graph. The total is about 4.1 points under, and the spread is Buffalo minus 16.3. So it looks like the most similar 21 matchups pretty heavily favor Buffalo here, so keep that in mind. Moving on to another matchup. Man, it's hot in here for some reason. We got Tulsa and South Florida in the Who Cares in the AAC Bowl because these two teams are not very good. Tulsa number 83, USF 110. Tulsa 8.5-point favorite, and the total is 57. On the ATS, we're split on money line and over under. The two keys do like the under slightly under 57. About a 4 and 5 chance for Tulsa to win according to the KNN graph by an average of 9.6. Total's 58.2. So I don't see a lot of value in this game. Okay, moving on to the MAC. I have the hiccups for some reason, but the disappointment of the year, Ball State against Eastern Michigan. Still, even though they've been disappointing, they're still number 59, which is good for a MAC team. Eastern Michigan 100. Ball State's only a 1.5-point road favorite. The total is 55.5. Unanimous Ball State lean against the spread and on the money line at minus 120. Over and under, the two keys do like this going under 55.5. Ball State averages 7.4 over here. The total is 55.6, so at least according to this graph, it is pretty sharp on the total. Moving on to another MAC game. Akron, who upset went over Bowling Green last week. Got to give them credit, and they're going to play Miami of Ohio. Number 90 versus 129. So despite the win over Bowling Green, still the second worst team according to this model. The Red Hawks are favored by 19.5. Totals 50.5. Unanimous Miami of Ohio lean against the spread. Money line's probably too big to play on them, and unanimous under 50.5. Only one matchup over here favors Akron, and that was UTEP over UTSA in 2016. Otherwise, it's a 25.3 KNN lean for Miami of Ohio, and the total is 49.5. So probably not much there on the total, at least according to KNN. Okay, moving on to the Sun Belt. Two teams have been pretty bad this year. We got, man, it is raining out there. Troy and Texas State. Texas State, 7.5-point home dog in San Marcos, and the total is only 48. Number 97 versus 122, but this is a unanimous Texas State lean on the spread. Not quite there on the keys for the money line on Texas State, but if you want to play at 230, it might not be a bad idea. We're split on over and under, so coming over here about a 2/3 chance Troy wins by an average of 5.3 and the total 45.4. Okay, moving on to maybe the best team in Conference USA against the worst team in Conference USA. We got UAB and Southern Miss. Number 58 versus 121. UAB 15.5-point road favorite. Totals 43.5. According to the ATS, we're split on the keys, so it doesn't look like there's anything there for UAB, but it's 5 of 6. But if you want to play them at 667, go ahead. And we're split on over and under, but the two keys this week do point to the over. Average margin on the KNN is 12.5 for UAB, and the total is 41.4. So take that as you will, but there's a lot of mixed signals on that game. Okay, Old Dominion was upset-minded last week, didn't quite get it done against Marshall. Can they do it against Western Kentucky? Well, they're 12.5-point home dogs. The total is 66.5. Number 104 versus 99. Unanimous Old Dominion lean on the spread, and it's by a lot. Also, pretty big Old Dominion lean on the money line by a lot, and unanimous over lean on the total over 66.5. 70.8 on the KNN graph. Only 2.4 spread as well, so it looks like Old Dominion and the over is the consensus. Going back to the MAC, we got Bowling Green and Northern Illinois. Number 94 at 117. Northern Illinois, 9-point favorite at home. Total's 45. So I know Bowling Green bit Minnesota, but they haven't done anything since. And against the spread, we're split, but 5 of 6 to Northern Illinois. If you want to play them at 357 on the money line, the keys are there. And over and under, 5 of 6, including the two keys, point towards over 45. Over here on the KNN graph, though, it does go under. That's the only metric going under. And 12.3 is the average margin for the KNN side of Northern Illinois. And another MAC game. Looks like this is MAC. This mouse, man. What's the deal? Dell, get your S together. All right, Toledo at Central Michigan. The Rockets, number 67, number 105, are the Chippewas. Toledo 5.5-point road favorite. The total is 52. We're split on spread. Money line, not the keys are not there for either team, and unanimous under. Unanimous under 52, so that's going to be the play. At least the KNN graph agrees. 46.2 is the total over there. 6.5 is the spread, though, so not much there otherwise. All right, Texas rivalry, if you want to call it a rivalry. One of these schools hasn't been around for a decade. The other one's been around for a long time, but we've got Rice and UT San Antonio. Number 102 at 70. UTSA going for their undefeated season, trying to keep that intact. They're an 18.5-point home favorite at the Alamo Dome. The total is 54, but this is a pretty big Rice lean, except for gradient boost on the spread, so split there. Rice is also liked on money line as well. The two keys point to them, and unanimous under 54. Coming over here, the KNN graph almost 10 points under the posted under at 45.5. The margin is only 12.7, so Rice in the under looks to be the lean there. Okay, moving back to the Mountain West, we got Colorado State and New Mexico. Colorado State going to Albuquerque. They're going to be a 10.5 road favorite, and the total is 45. Number 65. So number 65, my model, not bad considering how poorly they started off the year against 124. Split on the spread, 5 and 6 going to Colorado State, but the gradient boost, which is a key, is pointing to New Mexico. Money line's probably too big to play, but the keys do point to Colorado State if you want to play them at minus 400 and unanimous over 45. I have it at an average of 54.9, so almost 10-point over. But that's always been the case with New Mexico games this year. Over here, I have it at 50.7, so not as high, but still, that is how it is. Also, 14.8 margin for Colorado State. So Colorado State and the over looks to be the lean there. Staying in the Mountain West, we got Utah State and UNLV, number 92 versus 111. But however, Utah State's a 7-point favorite, so you know what that means. If the home team 20 spots higher, my model is a dog, my model's probably going to be all over them, and that is the case. Very heavy UNLV leans on spread and money line, and unanimous over 62.5 as well. Coming over here, 80% on the KNN for UNLV, 15, by an average margin of 15. So this is where my model, this might be the biggest deviation from the Las Vegas spread of the year so far. Also, the KNN graph goes 7 points over as well. So UNLV in the over there. All right, non-conference game, which probably should be a conference game, to be honest with you, but we got Liberty and UL Monroe, number 31 at 125, so good for Liberty being at number 31. However, we're split on the spread, but leans more to ULM. Split on the money line, but the keys are there for ULM, it looks like, maybe. And unanimous over 56.5. So average margin is 27.7 over here, so not quite to the 32.5 margin over there. 64.3 is a total. So it looks like over will be the play in that one. Going back to Conference USA, we got Louisiana Tech and UTEP. UTEP only needs one more win to get bowl eligible. I mean, they played a really bad schedule so far, but good for them, considering how bad they've been this year. But number 115 versus 88. UTEP is a 6.5-point home dog. The total is 56. Spread, we're split on the keys. So nothing there on the spread. Money line, if you want to play UTEP, the keys might be there at plus 215. And over and under, we're split, but the two keys this week are pointing towards the over. Average margin 1.5 over here for LT and 52.7 is the spread. So UTEP and the under looks to be the leans there. Okay, Mountain West, we got Hawaii going to Nevada to go to Reno and play 51 versus 108. Nevada's a 14.5-point home favorite. Total is 60.5. Unanimous Wolfpack lean on the spread. Over and under, the two keys are pointing over 60.5. Coming over here, average margin is 19.1 for Nevada. Total 56.1. So Nevada and the under looks to be the leans there. Okay, going back to the Big Ten. This doesn't look like that big exciting of a matchup, to be honest with you. We got Northwestern and Rutgers. Rutgers number 56, Northwestern 81. Rutgers is a 2-point road favorite, and the total is 45. Northwestern just been terrible this year offensively. Unanimous Rutgers leading on the spread, and moneyline keys look to be there as well. Over and under 5 of 6 do point over, but one of the keys, Neural Network, does say under. So at least I would say Rutgers is the lean here. The total is too sharp. Okay, another ACC matchup that would be more exciting in basketball. We got Duke and Virginia, number 89 at 57. Cavaliers, 11-point home favorite in Charlottesville. Total is 69.5. At least according to the spread, we're split there. Nothing there on money lines either. And over and under wise, we got the two keys are pointing under 69.5 despite the split. Average margin 15.3 for UVA on the KNN graph, 65.5 is the total. So it looks like the under is a lean there. All right, Big Ten mismatch. It might as well be, but can Iowa come back after that emotional win last week against Penn State? That's the question. But number 8 versus number 60. Iowa's an 11.5 favorite in Iowa City. The total's only 43, but unanimous Iowa lean on the spread. Money line were split, and unanimous over 43 over here on the graph. Average margin over here is 14.3 for the Hawkeyes, 44.3 on the total. So I would say Iowa and the over is the lean there. All right, maybe the worst Pac-12 matchup of the year. We got Arizona and Colorado. Colorado's 6.5-point home dog. Colorado's offense is so bad, but number 93 versus 101. 46.5 is your total. Unanimous Arizona lean on the spread, and the money line keys are there as well, plus 200 for them. Over and under, looks like we're split on the two keys this week. So looks like Arizona spread and money line are the plays here. Only 1.7 on the KNN graph and 51 on the total. All right, this is actually a pretty interesting Mountain West matchup. We got Fresno State at Wyoming. I know Wyoming's undefeated season came to an end last week against Air Force, but these are two of the better teams in the league. Number 62 versus 80. Offense is Fresno State's mantra and defense is Wyoming's. Wyoming in Laramie is a 3.5-point home favorite. The total is 54. Against the spread, we're split there. Unanimous Fresno State lean on the money line at minus 164 and unanimous under on this total. The total is 54. Coming over here, 7.1 is the average margin for Fresno State, and the total is 48.8. So it looks like I would say Fresno State money line and under is the lean there. All right, and then two of the better teams in the MAC. We got Kent State and Western Michigan, number 95 or 63. Up in Kalamazoo, we got a 6.5-point favorite for Western Michigan. The total is 66. Yeah, Spencer Rattler did get benched. Against the spread, unanimous Western Michigan lean. Money line as well. The keys are there for them at minus 263, and then unanimous over 66. These are two offensive teams. That's a pretty low. The total's 66. I have it at 78, so I don't see why the total's so low. These are two high-powered offensive teams with bad defenses, guys. So, yeah, everything points towards a heavy over and Western Michigan here. Western Michigan's been good to us this year outside of that first game. All right, Texas Tech going up to Lawrence to play Kansas. I watched Texas Tech last week. That was some bad run defense. And Kansas is just bad. Number 75 versus 113. Texas Tech is a 16.5 road favorite. The total is 66.5. We're split on the spread according to the keys. Money line, if you want to play Kansas at plus 530, go ahead. Over and under, the two keys are pointing over 66.5. However, the KNN graph has it right at 66.5 and a 15-point margin. So if there's a lean here, gosh, I don't know if there, maybe Kansas money line. All right, worst matchup of the year in the SEC? I think so. We got Vanderbilt and South Carolina, number 123 versus 78. Columbia, we got South Carolina 18.5, home favorite, totals 51. We're split on the spread. Money line, that's too big of a money line to play. And over and under, we're split there as well. So it looks like this is Splitsville. Splitsville. I don't see a lot of value here. I mean, yeah, there's just not a lot of value. Maybe the lines are sharp in this game, guys. All right, pretty good Mountain West matchup. This has been a team that Boise State has had trouble with, Air Force. Number 28 versus 29. So this is a top 30 Mountain West matchup, guys. I wouldn't take this matchup lightly, but Boise State is a 4-point home favorite on the blue turf. The total is 51. We're split on the spread, but the four keys point to Air Force covering the +4 and the +165 money line, and all six metrics do that is going over. KNN graph gives Air Force about a 1/3 chance of winning. Margin is 3.5, total 52.3. So I would say Air Force, spread, money line, and over are the leans here. All right, this matchup was getting a lot of hype before the season, but not so much anymore because UCF has been hot garbage. We got UCF going to Cincinnati to play the Bearcats, number 5 versus 64. Cincinnati's a 21-point home favorite. The total is 57.5. We're split on the spread. Money line probably too big to play, and unanimous over 57.5. About a 1 in 10 chance for UCF to win. But otherwise, the average margin is 18.5, total 61.3. So I'd say this is a pretty good overplay here. All right. Can Nebraska continue to get over these heartbreaking losses? That's the thing. 2 straight weeks of heartbreaking losses against the Michigan schools, where they're going to go up to Minnesota and Minneapolis to play the Golden Gophers. Number 27 versus 47. The Cornhuskers are a 4-point road favorite. The total is 48. We are split on the spread. Money line, if you want to play Nebraska at 179, it is there on the keys. And we're split on over and under, but the 2 keys pointing to over 48. About a 2/3 chance for Nebraska to win by an average of 4.3. So the spread looks pretty sharp, guys, but I would say over might be a good option here. Staying in the Big Ten, we got Michigan State going to Bloomington to play Indiana, number 44 versus 45. So this is a very evenly matched matchup. Michigan State is a 5-point road favorite. The total is 48.5. But however, this model looks pretty high on Indiana spread and money line, and under 48.5 as well. The total is sharp on the K&N graph, but heavily favoring Indiana. So it looks like Indiana spread and money line is the play there. Okay, I remember before the season started, this was said to be one of the best matches of the year in the ACC, but not so much anymore. We got Miami and South North Carolina. I don't know what the deal with North Carolina is. It's just been horrible this year, and Miami has been disappointing too. Number 40 versus 48. North Carolina 7.5 home favorite, even though they lost to Florida State badly at home last week. Total 63. Unanimous Miami spread and money line lean over here. Also unanimous under. The K&N graph backs up the under barely, only 0.7 under, and also backs up Miami as well. I would say Miami money line and spread is the play there. All right. The question here is, can Virginia Tech come off that heartbreaking loss at Notre Dame where they had the game won and threw it away at the end? Number 34 versus 42. Pitt is a 4.5-point road favorite in Blacksburg. The total is 57.5. Spread, unanimous Virginia Tech, unanimous almost, but the keys are pointing to Virginia Tech on the money line as well, and over and under, looks like the keys are split there. 50-50 on the K&N graph. 2.8 is the average margin. 51.4 is the total. So I'd say Virginia Tech spread probably, Virginia Tech money line is probably the play here. All right, we got Ole Miss going to Knoxville to play Tennessee, number 14 versus 39. Ole Miss is a 3-point favorite. The total is 82.5. That might be the highest total we have seen all year long. However, it looks like we're split on the spread, and money line looks to be unanimous. Ole Miss at minus 149, and we're split on over and under as well. So even though the total is very high, I mean that's I have it at an average of 81. So the total is that's crazy. The most similar matchup was Oklahoma State and Texas Tech back in 2015, where the total is 123. Wow, 2/3 chance for Ole Miss to win. Averages to 82.1. So the total, even though it's high, it's pretty sharp in my opinion. So I would say if there's a lean here, it's Ole Miss money line. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I usually pull my lines on Wednesday morning. Corey Johnson, how are you doing, Rico Sauce? All right, moving on to the Pac-12. Stanford and Washington State. We got Stanford number 43 against number 68. Washington State is a 1.5 home dog in Pullman. The total is 52.5. We're split on spread. Money line, Stanford at minus 120 is there according to the keys, and pretty big unanimous under 52.5. I only have it at 41. K&N graph looks like the spread's pretty sharp, but yeah, this is going to be an underplay. That's the play here, and Stanford money line at minus 120. Farmageddon. Usually Farmageddon's the last game of the year in my memory, but not this year. They're playing it in mid-October. Iowa State and Kansas State, number 15 versus 41. The Cyclones 6.5-point road favorite in Manhattan. The total is 50.5. Looks like we're split on the spread, split on money line, but unanimous over 50.5. Keep that in mind. My model has an average of 60, so almost 10 points over the post. 2/3 chance for Iowa State to win over here. Average margin is 5.2. 56 is your total. So I would say over is the right side there. All right, NC State is going to Boston College, number 35 versus 61, Chestnut Hill. 3-point road favorite is the Wolfpack. 52 is your total. We are split on the spread. Money line split as well, but unanimous over 52. So it looks like over is the play here. 60.1 on the KNN graph. So I would say over is your lean in NC State Boston College. All right, the only P5 team on Army's schedule. Are they still unbeaten? I don't think they are. I think they did lose a game. But number 11 versus 25. So Army's still a top 25 team in my model. Wisconsin, despite their record, number 11. But Wisconsin's a 14-point home favorite. The total is only 39. That might be the lowest total we've seen this year. So we've seen the highest and lowest total of the year in this video. We're split on the spread. Money line, probably too big to play. And over and under split. So it looks like everything is Splitsville here as well. So I would say the lines are pretty sharp, so there's no lean in this game. I mean, everything looks on the up and up. Okay, a matchup that was probably better on paper before the season started. We got UCLA number 22 at Washington number 38. Washington is a 1.5-point favorite in Seattle. Our total is 55.5, but we got a unanimous UCLA lean on spread and money line, and unanimous over 55.5 as well. KNN graph is pretty even on the score. 57.7 is your total. So I'd say UCLA is probably the right play, spread and money line. And I would also say if you want to play the over as well, knock yourself out. All right, and another matchup that was probably better before the season, we got Florida and LSU. Can Ed Orgeron survive a loss in this one? I don't know. A lot of people think he won't, but LSU is a 10.5-point home dog in Death Valley. The total is 59. We're split on the spread. Money line, we have no value there, and under is near unanimous. So I would say if there's any play in this game, it is the under, although the KNN graph thinks this one's going over, but everything else disagrees. But it looks like LSU is on their way to a fourth loss. All right, very interesting non-conference game. Even though BYU is coming off the loss to Boise State, they still got to go to Waco to play Baylor. Number 23 versus 24, so this is an evenly matched matchup. Baylor's a 6.5-point home favorite. The total is 50.5, but this looks like to be a unanimous BYU lean on the spread and the money line at plus 190. Over and under-wise, it looks like you're split there. So I would say the KNN graph has this matchup about even. So I would say BYU spread and money line is the play in this one. All right, tricky Pac-12 matchup for Arizona State. In my opinion, the best team in the South Division. They're number 7 in my model, going to number 36. Arizona State's a pretty good offensive team, but they're a 1-point favorite in Salt Lake City. The total is 51. But unanimous Arizona State spread and money line lean, although you might as well, they're the same since it's only -1, and over 51 as well. So according to the KNN graph, that looks to be about right. So Arizona State spread or money line, I mean, you might as well just play one, and the over is the lean there. All right. How can Texas A&M react to their win over Alabama? Can they get their head on straight? Well, fortunately, they're playing one of the worst teams in the SEC. If they were playing a better team, I probably would be like, they're not going to be able to overcome the emotion from beating Alabama. But since they're playing a really bad Missouri team, I don't think it matters. Number 21 versus 91, A&M is going up to Columbia, Missouri to be a 9-point favorite, and the total is 59.5. We're split on the spread, but unanimous money line. If you want to play A&M at -357, I would not recommend that. And we're looks like split on over and under, but the two keys are slightly pointing to the under here. Average margin is 20.8 on the KNN graph. So if you are a believer in the KNN graph, play A&M on the spread. 62.5. I would say there's just not a lot here. All right. Moving on. Auburn and Arkansas in the SEC, number 32 at 19. Arkansas with that heartbreaking loss at Ole Miss last week. One of those good games that we did not see on the stream. Arkansas is a 3.5-point favorite at home. The total is 53.5. Looks like to be a unanimous Arkansas spread and money line lean, but we are Splitsville on over and under, but the two keys do point under 53.5. Over here, it looks like Arkansas is pretty heavily favored, 8.6. So I would say Arkansas spread and money line is the lean there. All right, how can Alabama overcome their loss to A&M? Number 2 at number 26. Well, Alabama's going to go to Starkville, Mississippi as a 17-point road favorite. The total is 57.5. Can Alabama rebound? I think they will. However, we're Splitsville on ATS, but Money line's probably too big to play. And over and under, we are Splitsville there as well. So it looks like the keys are divided. However, the K&N graph looks like the spread's pretty sharp, but total looks like it's going over a little bit. So if you want to play the over, I would not say that's a bad idea. All right, the matchup I'm going to be most well-versed in this week, we got TCU going up to Norman to play Oklahoma, number 49 versus 12. TCU with a big rebound win last week against Texas Tech. They ran the ball very well. Oklahoma had that emotional win over Texas, so maybe there'll be a little hangover from that, but Oklahoma's a 13.5-point home favorite, although it did open at 11. The reason it's moved is because Gary Patterson was talking about injuries to Zach Evans, the best offensive player, and Max Duggan, the quarterback. I don't know if they're real or not. I don't think they are, but he floated that in the news this week, and the line moved 3 points after he did that. So anyway, looks like we're Splitsville on spread, Splitsville on money line, and Splitsville on over-under. So it looks like this line is pretty sharp as well. K&N graph gives TCU about a 1 in 6 chance to win. Average margin's 13.9 over here, total 62.7. So honestly, I don't really see any angles in this game, betting-wise. Okay, staying in the Big 12, we got Oklahoma State and Texas. Oklahoma State number 20 at number 18. Texas 5.5-point home favorite in Austin. Totals 49.5. ATS, we are Splitsville there. Money line, I don't see any keys that meet there, and over and under, we are Splitsville there, so it looks like this one's pretty sharp as well. K&N graph, we are even, so if you want to play Oklahoma State and you like K&N, they're probably your play. Spread and money line, total 55.2, so the under as well, but I don't see any value there, at least in my perspective. And finally, game of the week, Kentucky going to Georgia, number 1 against number 50, but they're ranked number 11 in the AP poll. How could they be number 50? Because my model doesn't think they're that good, guys. And I don't really think Kentucky is that good. I know they beat Florida, but remember they almost lost to UT Chattanooga, so I just don't, they're going to be just like Arkansas. They're probably going to get shut out. 22.5 home favorite for Georgia, 44.5. I bet the same logic is being applied like the Arkansas game. Arkansas's ranked number 8 and they're getting 18 points. I bet the same logic. UK's ranked number 11 and they're getting 22.5 points. Sorry, guys. My model is unanimous Georgia spread and money line's too big to play, and unanimous over 44.5 here. So Georgia and the over in that one. All right, let's see what I'm actually on this week. So I got Old Dominion plus 12.5, Georgia minus 22.5, and UNLV plus 7. I got some overs. I got Air Force over 51, Iowa State over 50.5, Liberty over 56.5, Colorado State over 45, Kentucky over 44.5, Bowling Green over 45, UCF over 57.5. And then unders, Washington State 52.5, Buffalo under 57, LSU, Florida under 59. And then money line plays. Rutgers, Arkansas, Nebraska, all favorites. Indiana, a dog. Ball State, favorite. Old Dominion, Miami, Arizona, dogs. Western Michigan, favorite. BYU, Kansas, UNLV, dogs. Ole Miss, Stanford, favorites. UCLA, dog. Arizona State, favorites. Those are the plays this week, right? No, Matt Stansberry, it's the same logic people use with Arkansas a couple weeks ago. They're like, Arkansas, how can the number 7 team be getting 18 points? It's because maybe Arkansas is not that good, and maybe Kentucky's not that good. Look at the team ahead of Kentucky, TCU. I know a lot about them. They haven't played that well this year. North Carolina just got blown out by Florida State at home, still ahead of Kentucky. That's why Kentucky's a 22.5-point dog, because maybe they're not respected. Look, okay, Florida. Okay, they beat Florida. Great. LSU is in tailspin. I think Georgia's going to send them back to reality. But here's the deal. I could see Kentucky going 11-1. I really could. Or 10-2. I could see them playing in a pretty big bowl game, guys. So, yeah. Anyway, that is this week's slate of games. Not a lot of good games. You know, there's only a couple ranked matchups. So this is kind of an off week in terms of matchup quality. I mean, you know it's bad when TCU is the ABC night game with Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler calling it. And I know we beat Texas Tech last week, but there must not have been a lot of options if we're the ABC night game, considering how bad our run defense has been this year. So, yeah, if Oklahoma can run the ball like they ran against Texas, we are in for a long night on Saturday night. And if Gary Patterson wasn't lying about the injuries, let's check the Star Telegram website and see if there's anything that... Because he was talking about Coach Patterson was talking about how Zach Evans, who I think is the best running back in the Big 12, better than Bijan Robinson, and Max Duggan, the quarterback, are dealing with injuries and might not play on Saturday. A lot of people think he's just, embellishing, but maybe not. Anyway, that is that. So that is this week's video. I will stream on Saturday. I won't get sick, so I apologize for getting sick on you guys. So on Friday night, I could start to feel, I used to get sinus infections all the time, guys, like 2 or 3 times a year. But I haven't gotten one since 2019. But I know, I used to get them all the time, so I know what they are. So I woke up Saturday morning and was just feeling like crap. But one thing I can do to get my sinuses unclogged is I'll exercise. So I did like a 3-hour bike ride on Saturday morning. I was feeling like total crap, and I didn't really perform that well on the bike ride. I wasn't riding as fast as I usually did, but it really did clear me up a little bit. And so I thought, I might be fine in terms of doing the stream. But then I came back inside, and my blood wasn't flowing anymore, and I clogged right back up. And I'm glad I did. I was on the couch all Saturday. Like I went through like 2 boxes of tissues, but I started feeling better Monday morning, and I started my marathon. I'm training for a full marathon. 18-week program, and this is week 1, so I started that yesterday. My VO2 max, though, I'm still not 100%. My lungs are still, it's not COVID, by the way, guys, but my lungs are still kind of swollen, or not swollen, bronchitis. I don't have COVID, but yeah, my VO2 max, which is like kind of measures blood oxygen on my Garmin, it's about 3 points lower than it normally is. Usually it's 54, but I ran at 61 or 51 this morning, so need to get that fixed. But I apologize for getting sick, but I will stream. TCU is the night game, so I should do the morning games and the afternoon games for hockey. Ooh. The Stars' first game is tonight. No, it's not. The Stars' first game is tomorrow. But yeah, I'll stream the morning games. So we're gonna have UCF Cincinnati, Michigan State, Indiana, Oklahoma State, Texas, Auburn, Arkansas, Florida, LSU, A&M, Missouri. So we got, and then Kentucky, Georgia, Purdue, Iowa, BYU, Baylor. So yeah, so I'll probably stream all the way up to 6:30, which is when TCU and Oklahoma play, and I'll watch that with my dad, and that is how it will be. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. 45 minutes, not bad. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I will see everybody on Saturday. I don't know if I'll do a Thursday Truth video. Probably not. I'm just so busy, like work-wise, life in general. A lot going on these days, so I apologize for that. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you on Saturday.